Hey there Guardians, Evade here, and today I have yet another video loaded with Forsaken secrets, exotics, and mysteries popping up on each planet. Before we get into that, if you'd like to learn about the annual pass and the launch trailer, the links for those are down below, and there is definitely a lot of information packed into those videos as well. Let's first begin with loads of new exotics found in the database after update 2.0. So I believe these are available on several of the sites that track the API, but the ones I'm looking at are light.gg and destinysets.com in the collections. So here are some of the new and returning exotics dropping within Forsaken. So there are a ton of these exotics, so I'm going to name some of them and let the rest of them scroll on screen, and you can pause if you'd like to take a look at them. Now, some of these do have a temporary icon because they're not supposed to be revealed yet, and Bungie is still probably working on that. But here are the current Forsaken exotics. First up, the Cerberus +1. That's the auto rifle that Game Informer revealed when they were doing their coverage like 2 months ago. We then have the Wish Ender, Ace of Spades, Malfeasance, the Chaperone, Trinity Ghoul, Lord of Wolves is returning from Destiny 1, so that's pretty cool. Wave Splitter, 1000 Voices, the Queenbreaker, Two-Tailed Fox, Black Talon. So here's a look at some of the perks on these weapons. I'm not sure if you guys are already aware of these, but I thought I'd just bring them to you anyway, since some of these are in fact new exotics. So for the Ace of Spades, we have Corkscrew Rifling, High Caliber Rounds, Firefly, and Smooth Grip. Also, reloading after a kill loads magazine with a few extra damage bullets. It also grants radar while aiming down the sights. Next we have the Lord of Wolves. First up, Chambered Compensator, Extended Mag, Release the Wolves, which is the exotic trait. It says defeating an enemy doubles the number of projectiles per burst for a short period of time. And lastly, just a composite stock. This weapon fires a powerful short-range burst of solar damage, and this of course is an exotic shotgun. Next, let's talk about the Wave Splitter. I haven't seen this before, not sure if this is a new one for everybody else, but let's talk about it anyway. For perks, it has Polygonal Rifling, Enhanced Battery, Fitted Stock, and its trait is Supercharged Battery. Collecting an Orb of Light grants a short period of maximum power that starts with an automatic reload. This weapon also has Harmonic Laser. Laser damage has 3 power levels that oscillate while the trigger is held down. And lastly, the Queenbreaker. This weapon has multiple sights you can choose from. You have Marksman or Combat. It also has Enhanced Battery, Hipfire Grip or Quick Draw, and then the Fitted Stock. So this is a wire rifle, so it fires a long-range precision arc bolt that blinds enemies on a hit. So all those classified exotics, let me tell you what those do real quick. So the One-Eyed Mask perk, which is an exotic Titan helmet, is Vengeance. This marks the enemy that dares to damage you. Track down and destroy your enemy for increased damage and overshields. Next, the exotic Titan gauntlets, the Ursa Furiosa. Move faster while guarding when Sentinel Shield is active. Guarded damage converts to super energy when the super ends. The Heart of Inmost Light exotic Titan chest. Using a grenade, melee, or barricade ability empowers you, granting increased damage and resistance. While empowered, the next ability you use has faster regen. The Oathkeeper Hunter gauntlets. Bows charge faster and charges can be held indefinitely. Shards of Galanor Hunter gauntlets. Hits and kills with Blade Barrage will return super energy after the super ends. The Gwizinvest Hunter chest armor. Each spectral blades kill you make before going to stealth will restore more of your super energy. The Controverts Hold Warlock gauntlets. Charging your grenade with Chaos Accelerant, Consume, or Radioactive will give damage resist. Charged grenade hits return a random amount of grenade energy. Phoenix Protocol exotic Warlock chest piece. Kills and assists you make while standing on your Well of Radiance will return your super energy. Geomag Stabilizer Warlock legs. When Chaos Reach super energy is almost full, sprinting tops it off. Damaging enemies with Chaos Reach extends its duration. So out of all the weapons and armor there are some pretty interesting ones. Like you saw, the Lord of Wolves is returning, the Queenbreaker, a linear fusion rifle, is also returning, and of course the Ace of Spades, which was Cade 6's weapon. Now, along with the weapons and armor, there are some ships that are obviously classified as well, but we do get a look at the Harbinger's Echo exotic Sparrow. Of course, saving these images, the pixels are really low, but I mean, I guess you can kind of make out what it's going to look like, right? So there you have it, that is some of the exotics dropping within Forsaken. Now these sites have all of this detailed, all the exotics, legendaries, and even like 90 new lore tabs are out there as well, so there's a ton to cover, and let me know if you find anything interesting. Now also in the database there is a Cade 6 cloak. So it looks like there is a placeholder legendary little marker there. Not sure what the cloak is exactly going to look like, but I'm sure most likely each class will have something to remember Cade by. Next up, some Forsaken armor has been dropping within update 2.0. Now as you can see here, I did the flashpoint over on Mars and got myself the Scatterhorn Grasp gauntlets. Now I'm pretty sure this is a bug, I don't think any of this gear is supposed to drop with this update until next week, but Bungie has noted that some weird stuff may be going on with this update and they're definitely looking into it. So until they fix it, if they even do, you can go out there and earn yourself some Forsaken armor early. So go out there, grind if you want, and get some of that new gear. Something else that also became available in Update 2.0 is Escaped Prisoners. So you may have seen that the new character, the Spider, he's a new vendor in the Tangled Shore, has some of these bounties where you can track down escaped prisoners. So you can see some of them say like track them down on Nessus, track them down on Earth, blah blah blah. But with the latest patch, some of these are already in the game but appear as question marks. So don't think you can kill them, they're just out there roaming the wild. And if you wish, you can definitely go out there and hunt for them. So let's next talk about some raid information which was also leaked in the database or the API stuff. Now the first object here, the Wish on the Horizon, says you must increase your power to 520 by earning gear in Strikes, World Activities, or the Crucible. So it seems that will be the power for the raid to at least start it, and that's good to know for those of you that are jumping in and trying to, level up as quick as you can. Now the raid itself is called the Last Wish, so we know that has to do with an Ahamkara obviously because, they granted wishes, which ties in with the next item called Habitual Wisher. For this one it says make 10 wishes in the Last Wish raid. So just by searching some information, it looks like there are 14 wishes in total, and they each have sort of their own different description. So I'm not exactly sure what the wishes are for yet, but it appears you're going to need a key to get into the raid itself, or possibly even the Dreaming City. As you can see by this item, the Mended Awoken Talisman. It says the feat taken to imbue the talisman with the darkness you need to open the doorway to the Dreaming City. So all of that is very cool. I want to know how those wishes work because they sound pretty interesting, and there's definitely going to be a lot of secrets surrounding the raid. But for now, here's a look at some of the rewards we can pick out from the database, including a ghost shell and some of the emblems. And lastly, to wrap up this video, I'm going to read some of the patch notes. Now I'm just going to pick out some of them here because, I'm not going to read every single exotic and what changed on it. The link is down below if you'd like to read up on all of that there. So here's a big one I've been seeing people ask about on Reddit and Twitter. So your exotics and emblems that are found in the vault will be unavailable during the week of August 28th, so now until September 4th, but they will return next week in the upcoming Collections tab. So don't worry, those aren't gone forever, you just gotta wait until next week for that. Here's a big one, exotics will now always drop at or above your Guardian's power level. Year 1 challenges will no longer grant destination materials or tokens. It seems like they're getting rid of the tokens, which is kind of good considering, how much people have complained over the last year, so those are no longer going to be a thing. These destination materials can be earned from bounties available from their respective destination vendors. Anything that previously granted destination tokens or rare materials will grant common destination materials moving forward. Next up we have Zur. Now we talked about this last week, but for those of you that missed it, his icon will no longer be displayed in the maps and he's no longer tied to the flashpoints. Also it seems his Faded Engram will only grant pre-Forsaken exotics, which kinda sucks, but yeah. For the tower, increase vault size to 500 slots, and players can now dismantle shaders in stacks of 5 in Rahul's vendor screen. And lastly, Cade 6 has left the tower to investigate disturbances in the reef. They've also removed treasure maps and scout reports. So Guardians, that's all I got for this video. I hope you enjoyed all those exotics, a look at some of the raid stuff, and the rest of the patch notes can be found on Bungie.net. Definitely be sure to check out the other 2 videos I made talking about character titles, Machine Guns Returning, the annual pass trailer, and then the other video which was the launch trailer, showing off the Queen, the Guardian voice, and much more. Please be sure to like this video if you enjoyed, subscribe for some more awesome Destiny 2 news and entertainment. I'm Evade and I'll catch you Guardians in the next one.